All right, welcome everybody. This is the Joe Wentz Project broadcast, and we are live right here, right now in South Carolina. And I have a great surprise here. Very special guest, my friend Jason Shumbera is with us. And
Hi, everybody.
if you've seen some of our collaboration videos, this is the man. This is him, the man on the drums right here. Jason, how are you doing, man?
Good, man. How's it going up there?
Oh, doing good, man. Doing good. We're supposed to get some bad weather, man. We're supposed to be getting some rain and sleet and maybe some, it's not looking good here.
Yeah, it ain't bad
Uh,
down here in Florida for
yeah,
once.
you ain't got nothing. You don't have nothing to worry about down there.
I wore pants today when I went out shopping, and by the time I got home, I was like, "Boy, it's too warm for these pants. I got to take these off."
What's the temperature down there in sunny Florida?
Oh, it's probably 80, 85 or something today. It wasn't. I wasn't outside all that much, to be honest with you. I've
Oh,
been
okay.
hibernating.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I wanted to, uh, and thank you, Jason, for being here, man. Thank you so much. I wanted to
No
get
problem,
Jason
man.
on here for everybody to see Jason, and I can introduce him to everybody here. We've been doing a lot of music together lately, and we have an EP that's coming out February the 5th, and that's just 2 more days. It's called When Worlds Collide. You'll see the link below in the description. I put some links down there. If you want that EP, if you want to get it early, you can pre-order it now. If you go to that link down there and click on it, that's for the iTunes. If you don't want iTunes, you want Amazon or whatever. I'm sure if you just type that in, you can probably get to that as well. So let me check the chat real quick. Dry Heat 480. He says, "Hey guys, what's happening? How you doing, Dry Heat, man?" R2 R3 Liking Nut says, "Hey Joe Wentz." Jim Gidry. That's my buddy Jim in Louisiana. There,
With the
Jason. He's good.
wrench, nice wrench, Jim. I like that.
Yeah, man. Tone Bolts. Hello to you
Tell them
all.
how it is.
Center O's in the house of our metal stage. Hey, Center, thank you, man. Sully Dude said he's already pre-ordered the album. Jason, how about that?
Oh, nice, man. Thank
Wow,
you. Awesome. You're probably
that
the
is
first one.
awesome.
He's first one in line.
Nah, he's not the first one. I know somebody else who's done it already too.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
yeah, brother Michael Smith, if he pops in here, he's already pre-ordered it as well.
Very cool.
Adam EVH, man, Mr. Adam EVH is my good friend from Canada. He's a great dude. And Salvador is in there as well. Hello, Salvador.
Hey, that's me. I know that guy. We go way
so
back. I can tell you some stories about him.
that's awesome. Let me start by asking you, man, if you don't mind. Now, when did you first get into music? What got you interested in wanting to play music and stuff like that?
Oh, I don't really know. I mean, there's not really one answer. It might have just been maybe Skid Row or Guns N'
Oh, okay.
Roses or something. You know,
Okay.
I was really into the hair metal and stuff, and especially Skid Row. But that was like my big band back when they were on top of their game. You know, I was like really into them, and I would play the air guitar and stuff, and I just really wanted to get a guitar in my hands. You know, we actually funny story. A couple of years before I started actually playing or even trying to play, me and a couple of buddies back in elementary school, even I think it was. Yeah, it was before middle school even, so it's probably fifth grade. We're talking here, but they had a talent show at school, and me and a couple of my buddies decided we were going to be an air rock and roll band. And we cut out a couple of guitar shapes and painted them and stuff, and fake drums or whatever, and we got up there and we played what was it, Rock the Night by Europe off the Final Countdown.
Oh, yes.
and and we got up there and we were rocking back. We did the whole thing with the air guitar in elementary school talent show. It was awesome. There's a video of that somewhere out there, man. If I ever make it big enough, somebody's going to find it.
That's funny you should say that because I've covered that song on this channel, "Rock the Night" by
Oh, it's
Europe.
a rocking song. It made you feel like you
I
were in an
love.
air band, right?
Oh man, I love that song. And oh, there's Miss Ann. Miss Ann is in the house. Jason.
And how you
All
doing?
right, man.
She's
Miss,
she's another
Miss,
owner of my art.
Oh,
Appreciate
is
that,
she
Ann.
really?
Yeah, she
Oh,
bought a piece
cool.
from me a couple months back.
Oh, awesome. That is fantastic. So you started doing the air guitar thing and getting in all that.
Yeah.
Now, when did you move into getting an actual instrument?
Well, I had a real nice air guitar. Let me clarify. My air guitar was like top of the line, bro. I mean, it had all the bells and whistles. Well, actually, it had nothing but whistles, being an air guitar. Anyway, uh, I was watching an old stream or something that you did the other night, and you were talking about how you started playing and stuff, and I was like, hey, that's pretty much how I started. I just expressed interest in it to my parents and stuff, and eventually they bought me a guitar to shut me the hell up. Like get him a guitar. He ain't gonna let it die. He ain't gonna let it die. Just let's
Yeah,
get him a guitar and maybe he'll go play it. And they were right.
that's awesome.
We did, didn't we?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Speaking of brother Michael Smith, I'm sorry, Jason, hang on. That is the first one I know of that has ordered our new EP. There he is. Michael Smith is in the chat. And he says, hello there, Joe and all.
Hey there,
There
how's it
he
going?
is. Yes, everybody, if you're just tuning in, this is my friend Jason Shumbera. He is a drummer in the collaboration videos that we've been doing lately, and we've got an EP coming out on the 5th and another single coming out on Valentine's Day. If everything goes into place like it's supposed to be coming out then.
And that's a good
Paul
one.
Glover. Paul Glover's in the house, man. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a blues tune. We because see, when Jason sends me a track, I have to kind of follow the direction he's going because that's the foundation, And he told me that it was a blues, he was doing a blues tune, and so I said, "Oh, cool, man, that's awesome, something
Well,
something different,
we're both following the same light. That's the trick. You got to figure out what color the light that our caravan is following is from the
Yeah,
video, the clue trail, the bread trail that I left you on the drums.
yeah,
You got to figure out where we were heading in the get go. That's something that people don't really understand about our videos. I think at this point, even people that know us well, I don't think they really grasp what's going on. The
right.
fact that I'm basically improvising a song from nothing, just pulling it from thin air and just trying to keep it on time, is the essence of it when it starts. I send it to you, and like I said, you've got to kind of figure out where I was headed down, what path I was headed down from what I gave you, and the feel that I left with the whole track, and then we got to kind of put it together. It's pretty amazing, man. It really is. I think people kind of underestimate it or undervalue the magic that's really going on between us, because if they don't really understand that that's how we're doing it, they might think that I was in their next room on my drums and you're in here and we're buddies, we hang out every other night or something, but
Yeah,
we never even met each other face to face, so
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's an amazing thing, technology, man. Technology is something else. Jim Guidry is in the chat too, and he's just to let you know, Jason, just to give you a little insight. Jim Guidry is the first one that I've ever collaborated with through internet technology,
Oh,
and
cool.
we started doing that. And if Jim's still in here, I don't know. He said hello a minute ago. I want to say that was around 2009, somewhere in that ballpark. And of course, it wasn't video; it was just audio stuff. But that's when I started doing that with him.
That
And
was my heyday. Basically, I was in
yeah,
3 different bands
yeah.
back then at the same
Oh,
time.
really?
Three
Oh,
bands.
wow,
Yep.
wow,
Drumming
man.
for 2 and playing guitar and singing for another.
Wow. Good
And
gracious, man.
full-time UPS driving still. Like that was back when I
Yeah.
first started driving, but I somehow was juggling all of that. It was insane. I pretty much drove myself into the ground with it all, but
Oh
I had
man.
fun
I don't see how
on the
you do it.
trip.
I don't see how you do it, man. I don't say I can do it. JJ Collins is in the chat. Hey, Mr. Collins, how are you, sir?
Hey
Thank you
JJ,
for
I'm
being
a
here.
fellow JJ. Nice to meet you, JJ. JJ.
That's right. That's right.
JJS
There's
here.
a that's right.
JJS meet JGC.
Um that's it. Miss Ann says that is the amazing part from the first, but you both work so well together.
it
Yes, we have a great time. Absolutely.
it really
A lot of
does
fun,
sound
man.
to me like a band. If I listen objectively and try to remove myself from the equation and just listen to what's going on when we do a track, it really sounds to me like a couple of guys that have played those songs hundreds of times together. And I think we fool people with it, even they're just like, oh yeah, it's just a couple of guys doing what they do, but they
Right.
don't realize that you're in South Carolina and I'm in Florida, and it's always been
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. I know it's so cool, man. The technology what it can allow you to do nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful. Michael Smith says, I have a question for both of you. What's the hardest part of putting together an EP the way that you guys did, and what was the hardest thing to overcome? I'll let you take
Uh,
that first, Mr. Jason.
yeah, I mean, I feel pretty confident in the fact that I could probably answer for both of us, being that we're both truckers and we both work our butts off for a living. It's just time.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of finding the time to make the dream happen, and get time to get in there and get the instrument in your hands, and make the effort. That's really the hardest part to it, especially the older you get. I hear a lot of my peers, my friends or whatever, slowing down or saying that they can't do what they used to no more and stuff like that. So I think for somebody like you and I that have a gift or a passion or whatever you want to call it, like we obviously do, that it's very important for us to pursue it and keep our eyes on the prize. The older we get, the harder it gets. The more we just got to make sure we're in there doing it and sticking to our guns. That's how I see it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The he said, "What's the hardest part of putting together an EP?" Well, putting together the EP wasn't really that hard. These were actually songs that we've done in the past, but they're pretty recent songs, and I have some new recording software, so I was able to learn how to use that software thanks to Center O. He's here in the house. I got the idea for the software from him, and so I bought it, and he helped me out along the way, learning how to get familiar with it. And so now that I have the PreSonus and the Studio One software, I knew that I could make Jason's drum tracks a lot more clear, have a lot more clarity to it. Because sometimes we would do stuff, it was like a roll of the dice. Sometimes it would be good, and sometimes the audio wouldn't be so good. And I was like, well, I don't understand why maybe his
This
drums are muddy, or maybe
No,
why my
it was
guitar is
this.
muddy. And
It was
oh, the phone.
the old
Oh,
iPhone that I
okay,
used to use when we first started. It had microphone problems and connection problems. I still haven't fixed it, so I just use it for like utilitarian type stuff around the house for now.
right,
But yeah, the mic keeps cutting in and out. I think that might have been most of it. But
right,
that's
right,
just going to
right.
get better and better. That's something that'll get better in time, because I've got, you just mentioned PreSonus, a really good company. I've got an interface for my drums from that company as well that'll do 8 tracks at a time the right way. So
Oh,
once
wow.
I find my next place and stop renting a room from my buddy Mike here, I'm actually in my bedroom right now. But my next place, I'm going to be set up to record at the flick of a switch, and our tracks are going to improve overnight. The next, whenever I move, the next track that I send you is going to be light years ahead of anything that we've done before as far as quality of the audio.
Right, absolutely, yeah. But also for people who are not sure, what Jason would do is he would set the phone up behind him. That's why when you looking at his video, you see, behind him, he's got his phone set up.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't know, Jason, on a tripod or something. I'm not
Yeah, well,
sure.
I've got it on a clamp right now. It's just a little gooseneck arm I got it
Okay,
running down to my entertainment center here. I got it clipped on the entertainment center, and then up
right,
here there's another gooseneck or another clamp that
right,
holds the phone, and you can move it wherever you want it. So I would take it and put it up behind me so you can see all the symbols and stuff in front of me, and you can see the back of my head, and that's about
right.
basically the shot that I'm going for. That's the action shot for me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. So that's what he would set that up. And then I noticed you got recently, because I remember you showed me a picture, you got a new microphone that you plugged into your smartphone, correct?
Yeah, it's that's actually kind of what started this whole little adventure that we're on, was me getting that
Mm,
mic. And I kind of bought that mic with this intent in mind, because I knew that you were a capable musician and that you were a capable video editor, streamer, and everything with YouTube that you do as well. So I thought, I'm going to get that new microphone that came out that just plugs right into my phone. And then I'm going to record some drums and I'm going to send it to that dude. And that's what I did, right? I didn't even send you a text message or anything. We
yeah,
didn't talk about this. We didn't say,
yeah,
hey, buddy, it'd be cool if we
yeah,
did a little music project. None of that was said. I just went and did it. And like, it
Right.
goes back to that question that the guy asked, what was the hardest part of putting the EP together? I think honestly, it'd probably be your end of the deal, because you got something on your plate all of a sudden and you got to finish it. You know,
Yeah.
you got to make it, you got to flesh it out and do all the work. I just kind of show up whenever I feel like it. I'm sipping coffee. I play when I want to. I play what I want to. And you just got to deal with it all, you know? So I'm the prima
Yeah.
donna of the whole outfit here.
But for me, see, that's the beauty of this whole music thing, man. To me, it's not work. To me, it's
Yeah.
like a let's see what we can do here, man.
Yeah.
It's
It's
part of the
effortless.
creativity. Yeah, it's
Effortless.
part of the creative process, man. Oh
Michael, I
yeah,
see
there's
asking the microphone. It's by
right.
Shure. I'm not sure exactly the model, but it's a Shure microphone, number one mic company in the world. And it's, I can tell you one thing, it pivots. It's got I think it's got the X or the YZ, whatever you call it, the dual
Oh,
polarity,
okay,
or
yeah,
I'm not sure what
yeah.
you call it, but
Hmm.
it's got a really nice mic, and it swivels down so you can angle it, you know. So say if it was plugged into a phone flat on like that, you could turn it to where you're actually facing what you're trying to record. So that's really helpful. And it actually has a handy little windscreen that pops over it too, which I usually take off when I record in the studio for the drums or whatever. But yeah, it's a really nice little Shure mic. It was about $150 at Guitar Center, and it has not led me wrong. I'm really, really very happy with that mic so far. So I've had it for what, about a year now or so,
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. It made a huge difference, and from using the mic on your phone as opposed to when you plug this mic in, man, it was like night and day. Because I
Yeah.
remember, I remember telling you, I said, "What are you doing different?"
Yeah.
Because
What
I
did
can,
you
I can hear
do?
your, I can hear your drums so much better now. What are you doing? And you told me you got that microphone, and yeah, so that was really cool, man. That was amazing how they're coming up with this stuff, you know.
Hmm.
So I might look into one of those just for the heck of it, just to have, down the road. I think it'd be really cool
Well, even when
just
you
to
do your
have.
streams or whatever, you're doing a live stream. If you're out, you know, say on area or whatever, and it's kind
Yeah,
of windy, volatile or whatever, you plug that thing in with the windsock on it, and you probably wouldn't
yeah,
hear any more wind. Your audio track
right.
would be cleaned up in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that is very interesting. Absolutely. Michael Smith says there's nothing more powerful than music. I agree,
Amen.
Mr. Smith. I agree 100%, sir. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So I was wanting to ask you, like, how many bands have you been in?
Oh God, I don't know.
A whole lot.
I
Okay.
would really have to sit here and think for a while. Um, it's been a lot. I get around.
Um,
No, I've
Michael
had.
Smith wants to know. Michael Smith wants to know if you happen to know the model number of that
I
microphone.
don't. It's down in
No.
the car, or I would grab it for you. It should
Oh,
be
okay.
pretty easy to find. If anything, I would just look for Shure
Smartphone microphone or something.
vlog microphone or something similar to that, like
Oh,
multi
okay.
smartphone Shure microphone. If you Google that, I'm sure it would pop right up. It's got a little egg-like case that it goes in. It looks like a little black egg, and it's got a zipper that opens up and
Okay.
reveals the nice mic within.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
cool.
what you're looking for. Just a little
Awesome.
tiny thing. The packaging wasn't much bigger than a fist, really.
Okay. Awesome. That sounds cool, man. So what we're wanting to do, or what we're thinking about doing, is I'm with a new. I told Jason this the other night, but I'm with a new distributor now, and so I can. You pay a yearly fee. You just pay one time, and I can upload as many albums and singles as I want since I paid that flat fee. And the other distributor I was with, you couldn't do that. You had to pay every time you release an album or single. You had to pay. But with this new distributor, I got a
Flat
lot
fee.
more freedom. Yeah, you just pay that one flat fee, man, and I can. So there's going to be a lot of music coming from us that's going to be released, and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
really looking forward. I'm really looking forward to that because that's what it's all about for me. I mean, making music and expressing yourself, and that makes my day, man. That just
Mm-hmm.
makes my day.
Yeah.
You know, I
Well,
mean,
like anybody,
I can.
really. I mean, as far as just your deepest, most personal. Are we still on here? think I lost you. Oh, there we are.
There you go. There you go.
Right. Yeah, it froze up for a second there.
Yeah, I lost you
Well,
there for a second. Go ahead.
okay, we're good. Yeah, anybody can. It's pretty universal because people just ultimately want to be understood, not necessarily accepted, but it's just nice to feel understood by somebody ever in this life. Really, sometimes it seems like a lot of people, go through life feeling completely misunderstood and never really find anybody to connect with or anything. And that's another part of this whole thing that makes it magical. I mean, just the fact alone that we're several hundred miles apart and have never met, but the chemistry that we do have with the music is just unreal to me. I mean, I've played with a lot of musicians in my day, a lot more than you asked me how many bands I was in. I said I couldn't tell you, buddy. Don't even ask me how many musicians I've played with because we could populate a small country with all them people. Just looking for that connection, looking to be understood. And that's the real joy that I'm getting out of this project. Like I was tickled last night because I got that idea as I watched the song for the first time to video my reaction and send it to you so you could see exactly how excited I was getting by it all, because of that connection and that feeling of being understood. I'm like, man, this guy gets it. He gets me. He sees where I'm coming from. He knows where we're going. It's awesome,
Yeah,
It's
it was great, man. That was
very
great to
rare
see.
feeling. Very,
It
very
is.
rare.
It is. It is. It's hard to connect with another musician like that. It's hard to find. Hard to find. Sure
MV88? That
is.
sounds like it might be right. No, I see somebody's
Oh,
asking
okay.
about my drum set a little bit.
Yeah,
And
Michael Smith wants to know about your drum set.
I
Yes.
can tell you about my drum set, buddy. It's Ludwig shells all day long and Sabian cymbals, and everything else is irrelevant.
I heard that, man.
Although I can tell you, I preferred Danny Carey signature sticks, drummer for Tool. Ever since
Oh,
Danny Carey put his signature sticks out and I got a pair in my hands, it's like I couldn't play something else. Okay, I got an image up here now. I did a quick search for the Shure MV88, and that's the mic right there. That's the one that you're hearing
oh,
my
okay.
drums through right there.
Thank you very much. So that is correct. It is the Shure. Is that Motive?
It's
Motiv?
MV88. You know how Shure does their
Okay.
things with a code like that. So you got an SM58, which is the world's #1 microphone.
Okay.
Very,
Okay.
very recognizable design on the SM58, but the one I got is the MV88.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's cool. Yes. Vintage Sounds. How are you doing, man? That's Jamie. How are you? Mr. Bruce is in the house. Thank you, Mr. Bruce. Thank you for being here. Dry Heat says, call it what you want. It's a job well done. Thank you, Mr. Dry Heat, man. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
that so much. Thank you so much, man.
We're glad you
We thank
enjoy
you.
it.
Yes, absolutely. That's it's one thing when we both get a kick out of what we're doing, but it's even just the cherry on the top when other people
Yeah.
understand
They speak
and
our
they
language
enjoy it.
too, some of them.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what like you said, being understood. And so that's a good thing about this little community here, man. A lot of people, they do get it. Just like when you're uh, I noticed when you was on your Facebook page last night, you were live. You were working on your painting that you have in the background there.
This one.
Yes, look at that. That's awesome. You know, Jason is an artist, not only a musician, but he is an actual artist as well. He loves to paint, and he does all kind of great things with that paintbrush, man.
I
Very
try to.
cool. You do, sir. Actually, I would know because I got some of your art coming to me.
Yeah, you're going to have one of these with it too, one of these little stickers.
Yeah, that's what I'm wanting right there. I'm looking forward to that.
I got to get some of these in the mail for Ann too, because that's the only way you can get these stickers is by owning my art, and she owns a piece, so I got to get her a sticker.
Let me present you. Can you show that sticker one more time, please? I got you
Yeah.
presented now.
Yeah.
There we go. Look at that. That is slick.
My
I
fiance
love that.
Tony designed it for me, and I sent it off and had stickers made out of it. Heck yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's woo this, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I got about 300 of them.
Look at there. My
So
goodness gracious.
if anybody wants a sticker, you got to buy a painting. And luckily for you, I got over 300 of them too. So the paintings will be here after the stickers are gone.
Yeah,
Get them while you can.
your store is on Etsy, ETSY, correct?
Yeah, Etsy.com.
Etsy.com.
It's a
I went
craft
on,
marketplace, handmade craft marketplace.
yeah, because I went on there and I just typed in your name, I think, and it pulled your store right up.
Cool.
That's what it did. And yeah, I just went on Etsy and type in Jason Shumbera, and it pulled you up, showed your profile picture and all that stuff.
Right.
And
Good.
I was like, oh, I said, here we go. And I was looking at all that stuff. I was like, man, you got some very nice pieces on there, man. And I was just like, oh my God.
I've only recently started being myself. I've always kind of gone by a pseudonym. If anybody knows what that is, like a kind of like a pen name or an imaginary writer's name. How Stephen King did some novels writing as Richard Bachman. He was using a fake name, you know. But my name isn't necessarily so much fake as it is just me kind of wearing my influences on my sleeve as an artist. Whoever my biggest current influences are, I tend to change my name for a couple years at a time, year and a half, 2 years, however long, until another influence creeps in, and then it's time for a new era, and I change my name again. I've been Salvador Van Gogh, like I am here on my YouTube channel. I keep pumping in comments here. Hi, that's me, Salvador Van Gogh. That's Adam Willem Carter on Facebook, which is a mashup of Adam the Woo, good old friend of mine. You guys, most of you know Adam the Woo. If you don't, check him out on YouTube.
This man right here,
Yeah,
right?
that guy. He look familiar?
Yes, there we go. That's him. That's the man right there.
He's a close personal friend of mine, and we go way back. Way back. No, we really do though. He's a great guy. I love that
Yeah,
guy to death.
they've known each other since they were kids, man. I
Yeah,
think that's really cool. That's
we
really
met
cool,
here in
man.
St. Cloud, 1991, which is actually the same year that I started playing guitar and drums.
Wow. Okay.
1991.
Cool.
I was 13 years old, Grandpa.
That's that's okay. I got grandkids. It's all good. It don't bother me none. Let's see. Let me see something. Michael Smith asked a couple of questions. He says, okay, yeah, he's wanting to know about where he can check out your art. Yes, Etsy. Michael Smith, if you just go to Google Etsy, that's what I did. I went to Google and I typed in Etsy, ETSY, and you go to that website and just type in Jason Shumbera, SHUMBERA.
Probably just
and it
the
should
last name would do it.
Yeah, it'll pull his store right up. That's what I did. And can I put a link in the thing? Yeah, I can put it in after the video processes. Yeah, sure. I'd be more than happy to do that. T.W.P says, "Hey, Joe and company." T.W.P, man, that's Ted. I finally got to connect with Ted on Facebook. Thank you, Mr. Ted. He sent me a couple of videos today, and that was really cool, man. Awesome. It was nice to meet you, Ted, man. Really cool dude, man. But yeah, so
that's me.
What did like, okay, for people who I got to say this, because now people who aren't familiar with Adam, now people that know me know that I've watched Adam's channel for a long time, but the theme song for that, now, didn't you write that?
I did.
You wrote that theme song for that show. Wow, ain't that something, man?
That's my hit.
That is so cool, man.
Yeah,
that
I get
is
royalty
really cool,
checks from it all the time.
That's that's awesome, man. That's awesome. That is fantastic, man.
Yeah, well, that kind of goes back to what I was talking about a minute ago. My current pseudonym, my current fake name that I'm going by on social media, well, on Facebook at least anyway, is Adam Willem Carter. And Adam stands for Adam the Woo, my old friend, and everybody's golden boy on YouTube.
Yeah.
Mr. Hollywood. And the Willem, a lot of people are in the dark on that one, but Willem is actually this guy's middle name. Anybody know who this guy is?
Vincent Van Gogh. Wow.
His middle name is Willem, so you got Adam Willem, And now my last name, Carter, that's another big influence on my life at this particular moment. My beautiful fiance, Tony, over in England. And there you have it. There's my Facebook name, Adam Willem Carter. None of them are me. I'm confused. You'd be surprised. Well, probably not, but a lot of people get very confused by me, and they don't know who I am still. They have no
I have to
idea.
be I have to be honest. I was in the very beginning too when we first started to talk, and I said,
Yeah.
"Hey, man, what do you want me to call you?" I didn't.
You got about 17 names, man.
Oh, I remember that. That is there's Vintage Sounds. Jamie says the woo is awesome. Yes, he is, man. The circle of goodness.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great guy.
He's a good dude. Good dude, man. Um, Steve Anderson's in the house. He goes the 10th thumbs up from me. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Thank you, man.
Nice.
Appreciate that very
All
much.
12 of you. I see 12 here. Thank you. That's a dozen swell people right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate y'all taking the time to stop by. Thank you so much. Um, everybody's talking to everybody else in the chat. That's fantastic. Awesome. So what do you have a favorite instrument that you like to play the most, or do you love them all the same?
Well, that's something
Uh,
I've actually been thinking about a lot since the moment I listened to this song last night. Something kind of clicked with me, and as to why I think we have the magic that we do is because we have the same love, and that's just electric guitar. There's just something about a distorted, screaming electric guitar, buddy, that does it for me like nothing else I've ever found. And I heard you say something real similar in your little mini documentary that you did on your channel. I was watching it the other night, and I heard you say that, and I'm like, yep, that's why we get along so well, because we're both in love with the same woman.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true, man. Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I have the most fun on drums, which is weird, kind of. It's like almost contradictory if you think about it, even. But I just really have found the joy in holding down that rhythm section for someone like yourself and giving you that platform so you can take off, because without it you couldn't. A lot
Right.
of people don't really get that whole thing about chemistry and why
Right.
some bands were
Right.
so great until that one guy left, and then they sucked, because it's
Oh
all about
man.
chemistry. You can't
Oh,
you
that's
can't
right.
pay for it. You have to
It's
either
about
have
that
it or you
magic.
don't have it.
Yeah, that magic, man. That's right. What is some of your favorite bands that just do it for you when you hear an
uh,
album or whatever that you're like, oh God,
well,
that just
I've got a soft spot for punk rock, which is going to blow a couple people's minds if the only thing that they've heard from me as a musician is the last couple of tracks that we've done, which were really tasteful, in the pocket kind of rock and roll tunes compared to what most people would call something like punk rock. But I've been in a few punk bands, mainly punk bands, and harder edge stuff, hardcore, and not necessarily metal. But Bad Cloud, one of the bands I was in back in 2009, I mentioned a minute ago, was actually a pretty straightforward rock and roll band. We did some medleys and stuff. You've heard some of our music on my streams in the past.
Mhm.
But that was pretty much the most straightforward, traditional style rock and roll band that I've ever been in until this project now. And I'm really sinking my teeth into this, because I've been telling my family and a couple of closer friends that I talked to here these last couple of days that I've kind of secretly always wanted to be in a blues band. So I really, really enjoyed these last couple of blues numbers that we've done. I've been like really happy with the finished products that we've done.
Oh, that's fantastic, man. Oh man, that is so awesome. I'm having a great time too, man. Absolutely. Now the music I heard you play on your live stream last night, you said that was a band that you were in, and
That
you
was
said it
Bad
was
Cloud.
that was them. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
because man, that sounded really good. I was like, man, who is that?
Yeah,
It
that was a
sounded
3-piece I was in 2009. And now, see,
okay.
the other two bands that I was in at the same time are like day and night. Machine Gun Haircut's like a thrash punk band that actually I was in with my roommate Mike, who sang the Adam Lou theme song.
Oh,
And
okay.
then American Scare, I was playing guitar and singing, and we were pretty much fast type punk rock too, a little bit of a new school twist to our punk, but fast and offensive nonetheless.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. It's
Really
nice to have
diverse.
it's nice to have a nice big musical palette.
Hmm.
I would think. Vintage Sounds wants to know, Jason, how long have you been playing drums?
Well, I started drums and guitar the same year, 1991, the year Nirvana broke. Punk rock was like the number one thing in the world, the music industry. It's what they wanted to sell, and they wanted everybody to buy it. And me and Adam became friends, and we discovered punk rock together, more or less, and we fell in love with it. And we started going to shows, and I started playing more and more instruments, and the rest is history. I mean, that led us to where we are these days. But I've always been a really obsessed. Even I would go so far as to say I'm flat out obsessed with music. I'm physically ill with it from time to time, if you will. But I've got a very ridiculous music collection. That's a good term for it. It's very ridiculous. My music collection is preposterous, if you will. I mean, I don't
There's
know
nothing.
anybody personally. I've never met anybody that has a bigger music collection than I do, and
That's
it's
awesome.
it's almost scary sometimes to think that, like, where is this going? Where's this all leading?
Oh no, man. It's Miss Ann says, tell them about your vinyl. I'm liking the blues. I guess you just did, right? I guess you just said about
Yeah.
that, I guess.
Well, a little bit more into my, particularly the vinyl obsession of my life. That it dates back to those days right around when I started playing music and really, really falling in love with the electric guitar and just music in general. Early 90s, 91, 92, 93. I really started collecting music and just running with it. I love it. There's nothing like it. And to touch on a minute ago, you asked me some of my favorite bands. I'd have to say, if you guys want to check out Sam I Am, uh, Super Chunk, another one word, Sam I Am from California. And both of those bands, Sam I Am and Super Chunk, they're pretty much my favorite band. They tie. They're both my number one favorite band at the same time. And a lot of people consider them punk rock. And to me, being a big fan of punk rock and listening to a lot of it, I don't really consider them punk rock. They're musicians that play rock and roll at breakneck speeds sometimes, but that's not enough to classify a band as punk rock to me. To me, they're just a good old rock and roll band, like what we do. I mean, we from time to time we get a little bit off the rails too with the speed, and I like to see how much I can get us carried away anyway with the drum tracks every once in a while. I'm like, let's pick it up. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What did they for?
Double time.
Yeah, like, well, oh God, where are we going?
Exactly.
So, Vintage Sounds wants to know if you are self-taught
I am.
musician.
I am.
Cool.
More or less. I mean, there was a guitar class that they offered back in high school when I first started, and I signed up for it and got in the guitar class. But really, that was just an excuse for all of us metalheads to sit around and teach each other Slayer and Metallica riffs and stuff like that. And that's what we did, and we taught each other pretty well. There was a camaraderie amongst us high school outcast guitar playing metalheads with long hair and smelling like cigarettes and stuff.
Yeah.
We took care of each other. We taught each other a bunch of riffs and stuff, and I pretty much miss those days. That was fun because it was something new every day. You were learning something new every day on your instrument. Like you probably get that feeling a lot more often than someone like me. I don't get a chance to play very often, nowhere near as often as I would like to, for sure. But the more you play, the better you get, and the more you have times where you're actually like, wow, I feel like I just broke that plateau that I've been in, and I went up a level. I learned something.
Yeah. See, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's what I've always in my mind I've tried to tell people. It doesn't matter if you're a drummer, guitar player, bass player, singer, whatever. But I try to play at the very least. Like if I'm having to go to work or something, I might try to play for 10 minutes to an hour, somewhere in that ballpark, just to for muscle memory and just to get. But if you do that every day or every other day, you will see it's going to be slow, but you will see improvement. You will see that eventually. You're going to see it. you know. And yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Sometimes I'll be trying to work on a lick or something. I'm like, man, I can't do that. My God. And then I might get kind of close to it, and I'm like, oh man, wait a minute, hold on. I think okay, yeah, that's close enough,
Almost.
Yeah. And so I said that'll work, and that's what I love about playing guitar, man. It
Well,
doesn't.
that's enough to keep the guitar in your hands because you see how close you're getting. So you keep picking it up the next day, and the day after that, you find 10 minutes. And instead of doing nothing or getting on Facebook and scrolling with your thumb, you pick up the guitar.
Right.
And that muscle memory really comes through in the end. I tell people that all the time that ask me about learning how to play guitar or, give me lessons or this and that. Like, oh, I wish I could play. And I tell them, well, the first thing you do is you buy a guitar. And,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but not so obvious to some people. But, that's step one. You get yourself a nice, decent guitar that might even stay in tune. And then you'll save yourself some frustration by not taking the cheap way out on that one. You get a poor instrument and you're going to have to work 10 times as hard to make it sound good, and that can be discouraging to somebody that's starting out. So you really want to maybe make a little bit of an investment on that guitar and get a semi-decent one. Okay, so that's
Absolutely.
it. Now, the next thing you do is you pick it up and you play it every day. And it's not rocket science. People expect some magic answer when they ask you, how do I learn how to play guitar? How do you learn how to play guitar? It's like, well, I picked it up every day for about 15 years and I played the stupid thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
try that and come back to me and let me know how it's working out for you.
And another thing that people have nowadays that I use a lot too is this right here is YouTube. You can pull up so many free lessons. It's ridiculous, man.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't have to. I mean, I don't mean
You can
this.
slow licks down too. That's another feature.
Yeah.
If you're trying
Yeah.
to figure something out and you're in a rut, you can slow it down on here and
Yeah.
get it slow, and then you work your way up to playing it at tempo.
Can you imagine? And I don't mean this in a bad way. I really don't. And but can you imagine how many probably guitar instructors that's put out of business?
Yeah.
YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I mean, wow, man. I mean, 'cause I remember back in the day, that was the thing, man. You find excuse me, you'd find a decent music store, and you go in there, guitar lessons available, sign up here or whatever. Of course, this is way back in the day, right? And I never really did that either. I went to a guy a couple of times, a buddy of mine. He taught me. I took 2 lessons from him, actually 3, and then from then on, it was like looking in magazines at tabs. But the thing that really helped me, and I'm sure you understand this too, Jason. The thing that really helped me, that really opened up a lot of things for me, was jamming with different people. That right there is what really helped out a lot, because music, it's okay to do it by yourself, playing for a certain for a little bit, or if you can't get together with somebody, yeah, that's cool. But sooner or later, you have to have another human element involved and jam with somebody else, man. That's what's so wonderful about it, you know
Mm-hmm.
just like what we're doing, even though we're not in the same room, thanks to technology, we're still able to do it, you know so it doesn't get no better than that.
Yeah. Well, we definitely couldn't have been doing what we're doing right now when we first started out because the
Right.
technology wasn't there.
That's right. It sure wasn't. Mr. Bruce is naming some bands. He wondered if maybe you'll like Black Flag,
Sure.
Suicidal Tendencies, Dead
Oh, yeah.
Kennedys,
Uh-huh.
all that cool stuff. Sex
Uh,
Pistols. There you
of the
go.
three, I would have to say I was the biggest fan of Suicidal Tendencies, but I kind of was picky about the stuff. Being a metal guitarist that fell into punk rock, I was kind of picky with my tone and stuff like that with certain bands. If it was really dirty or if they had a little bit too much spit in their punk rock, really wasn't feeling it. So bands like Black Flag, Dead Kennedys, some of the bands that are legendary punk bands, nonetheless, they didn't have the greatest sound quality on their recordings back in the day. So it really kind of deterred me from falling in love with them until later on when I got over it or the actual releases got remastered and stuff. Like, oh, okay, I can listen to it now. It finally doesn't sound so much like crap anymore. But yeah, some of those bands I really like. Yeah, they gave me the gas face when I first heard them. I was like, "Ugh, this is painful," because I felt like, and perhaps was probably right in thinking that I could have got better tone with my boom box and my little, kickback combo amp or whatever in my bedroom.
Right.
And that's, pretty much true in some cases with these old punk bands. It just didn't sound the greatest. That's not what they were going for, though.
Right. Yeah, they weren't going for that. That's right. That's right. Absolutely correct. Let's see. Adventures by George. He says, "What's up, guy?
Hey, I
How
know
are you,
that
sir?"
guy. How's
I
it going,
figured you probably
George?
did. How you doing, George? Thank you for stopping by, man. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Bruce, for those kind words, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. Mr. Vintage Sounds says, and by the way, Vintage Sounds, man, Jamie, excellent guitar player, man. He sent me a video. I guess it was close to a month ago, and I think he's playing a Les Paul, and my God, he was tearing it up. So, Jamie, man, you got my respect, brother. It was kick ass. Vintage Sounds, aka Jamie, says half the teachers I see today are only playing 2 years, been playing for 2 years, and they're teachers, but it's $20 a half hour. What a ripoff. Yeah, I remember even back in the day, I remember when it was like 20 20 or $25 for a half hour. I remember that. I remember that back in the day. I was like, man, that's a lot of money.
I'll tell you
You
what,
know?
here's the real deal when it comes to this subject matter. You take $20, you split it in half, you send 10 to Joe, you send 10 to me, and you pick up your guitar and you play it for 20 minutes every day. And there you go. We just taught you how to play guitar, didn't we, Joe? That's the magic of it. See, that's the only thing. People think that you're paying this money and you're getting a good, deal and you're learning how to play an instrument. That's not what's really happening. What's really happening is you're dropping some money, so you're going to show up and you're going to take it seriously. Well, buddy, I can tell you, save the money, show up to your guitar and take it seriously, and you'll get somewhere with it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's really cool, man. I have a buddy I work with. He's a fellow truck driver, and his son is 10 years old, and he bought his son another beautiful Fender Stratocaster, made in Mexico model. And his son had one
I got
before, but
one.
he got. Yes, I love all my Fenders are made in Mexico. I love them, and
All of my
his,
fenders.
yeah, that's right.
You got too many guitars, Joe Wentz.
I don't have that many, man. Hold on now. And
I heard you counting earlier and you ran out of fingers and toes. Are you kidding?
yeah, yeah, I might have a couple too many, but that's all right. I never had too many guitars, man.
You're right.
No,
Touche.
and but actually, his son, he's paying for his son to take lessons, but he says his son acts like he's really not. Again, he's 10. He's 10 years old, and I said, well, you know, leave it up to him if he wants to do it, because if he really likes to do it, just like with any other person, anybody, if they really want to do it, they'll do it. But if you force him to do it, he's not going to want to do it, and you're going to be wasting your money,
You got to want
so
it.
yeah, you have to want to do it. That's why the stuff we do here and the editing. I mean, I spend a lot of time editing and splicing our footage together, and all
Trying to make us pretty. You're taking out all
that's
those blemishes and stuff. And
yeah, I'm trying to up our game and all that. Like, wow, what is that, man? Where's he playing at? He's playing at Madison Square Garden. I mean, it's just, but it takes a lot of time. But I love doing that. I love doing it. Big Dan Hall, the accountant, is in the house. Thank you, Mr. Dan. He says lessons are too expensive. I've been using YouTube still in very beginner lessons, but trying. That's all you got to do, Mr. Dan.
Yep. Pick you a
Just
couple chords and start going back and forth between them for a couple minutes a day, and that muscle memory will come through in the end. You'll get it easier and easier.
It will. It's some. And the thing that gets me is everybody. Here's something you have to understand. Everybody is different. Not everybody learns at the same pace. It tears me up when I look on YouTube and there's like a 13-year-old kid playing Eruption, note for note, like it's nothing, and I'm like, oh my God! I said, I've been playing all these. I can't play that. I can play a couple of little nuances of it, and that's as far as I can get. And I'm like, but see, here's the thing. And Center, he's in here. Center, my friend Center, the Our Metal Stage. He's even said this, and it makes perfect sense. He goes, yeah, you got kids that can do that. That's all well and good, but they're missing that human element, like I was just talking about, being in a band with other people.
Mm-hmm.
These kids are like, I don't want to say this the wrong way, so I hope nobody takes it wrong, but it's almost like the parents will put a child into learning guitar when they're really, really, really young. It's almost like a science experiment, almost. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, let's see what he can do by the time he's 8.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be a virtuoso, and I'm like, but it's like I don't know. I guess I'm just getting old, but
You too?
it's just wild. It's like, but it's like you don't see. I would rather see a kid's 13, 14. Now, I've seen a couple of videos of that, but I would rather see kids in a band doing something than one kid in
Mm-hmm.
a room with nothing but black curtains around and there's one spotlight on him and he's playing, like Yngwie Malmsteen or something, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, but for me, it only takes me so far, and I'm like, okay, I need something that's got more taste,
Mm-hmm.
not just. I mean, that's kind of like, oh God, come on, it's just. So you put some kids like that together in a killer blues band, to me that blows everything else out of the water. All that flashy stuff. You get some good blues licks going, man. To me, that BB King could say more with one note than anybody else could that played 100 notes. I mean, he really could, man. And
Yeah, he
fortunately,
was he was awesome.
I got to see BB King. My wife and I both got to see him before he passed away.
That's cool.
So yeah, well, we got a lot of comments here, man. Let's see. My goodness. JJ Collins says there's no such thing as too many guitars. I agree, Mr. Collins. Absolutely. Vitchy Sounds. Joe, do you like the Boss Katana amp head? Yes, sir, I do. I love it very much. Very much. My wife got me that for Christmas, and I use it pretty much. That's all I use anymore here lately. Even with these new songs that I've done with Jason, I've been using the Boss Katana amp head running direct into my interface, the PreSonus, and yeah, I love it. Fantastic amp head for what it is. It's unbelievable. Um, Dry Heat 480 says those kids are learning songs and not self-expression. Yeah, yeah, it's like almost like a robot. Yeah, it's crazy. TWF 7847 Ted says I use Tab Pro on Ultimate Guitar website. $50 for a lifetime subscription. Literally thousands of songs. You can slow down the tab to learn it or loop it. Best investment I've made. Hey, that's cool, Mr. TWF. I didn't know. That's the first I've heard about that.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is awesome.
I used to be a big fan of Guitar World magazine when I first started. I used to buy that every month.
Me too. Me too, man. That's funny
There
you
was
say that. And
there was a few of them on the market back then, though. There was Guitar for the Practicing Musician. There was Guitar
yeah,
School.
Guitar
And
Player,
I remember
Guitar
a few
World.
of the magazines you could get the same song and it would be different. I was
Yeah, the
always like,
tabs.
well, what is
Yeah.
that? Which one's right? And Guitar World is still on the shelves, and the reason why is because their tabs were right, and they actually took the time to consult, the Library of Congress and the sheet music and the actual guitar players that wrote the song, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
But you can count on Guitar World magazine, and
Right.
From what I've seen on Guitar Pro or what is it, Ultimate Guitar website, and I think there's a Guitar Pro website too, right? But that's it's kind of like Wikipedia. It's not always like verified information, and sometimes it can be misleading, and sometimes you can learn a song the wrong way. So always check your sources and maybe verify it against something else just to see, oh, well, why is this one saying that it's played way down here when this one over here is saying it's here? Your ears won't steer you wrong. Play it both ways and you'll see which one is more reputable pretty easily.
That's right. That's exactly right. Mr. Bruce, he says, Joe, have you ever looked at the face of these kids? They don't look too happy. Yeah, I know, man. That's what I'm saying, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
It turns you into a one-trick pony to learn other people's songs. What you really want to do is what Joe and I seem to do is learn the techniques and the attitude and, oh, how do you get that one crazy squeal to happen, and you try to master just getting that little squeal, not so much playing some huge impressive concerto by Bach or something like that. You focus on skill, and you're really skill building, not trying to master the instrument, because who wants to be a master of
Right.
something? You know, the fun is in the learning and the expression and the
Yeah.
growing that it gives you,
Right.
not the
Right.
perfection of it all.
Yeah. 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 As you can see, like behind me, my favorite, biggest influence is Eddie Van Halen, and I'm sure that comes through some of the songs we do. But I try my best to take a little bit from each guitar player that I love and just try to put it in a my own tasteful way. I try to anyway, and because you don't want to be a copycat player, man. That's the last thing you want. You don't want to do that if you can help it. Hopefully, I don't do that, but man,
Well, you want to kind of nod, you know. You want people to be able to hear your influences
hmm
in your playing. You don't want them to hear you know what I mean? There's a difference between hearing you play your influences and hearing your
yeah,
influences in your playing.
right, right, absolutely. There is a huge difference in that.
There's nothing like walking up to somebody playing guitar anywhere. Say you're in a guitar center and you hear somebody playing guitar. You walk over there and listen to them, and you can kind of tell what they're into by what they're playing. You know, you can hear it. You know, especially like somebody like Stevie Ray Vaughan or Eddie Van Halen, or somebody that's got really more or less a signature sound. You can pretty much hear that somebody's into them when they're playing the guitar.
Oh yeah,
You take a shot in the dark,
absolutely.
and you know somebody's sitting here like this in Guitar Center. Say,
Yeah,
"Oh, Eddie Van Halen fan, are you?" Well, take a shot
yeah,
in the dark, and you're probably going to
that's
be
right.
right.
That's right.
Wild guess.
That's it. That's it. TWF says the cool thing about Tab Pro is that user group rate it according to accuracy, so it helps weed out the duds. Oh, that's
Nice.
very cool. That's very cool. Let's see, Center O, the which is a part of our Metal Stage podcast. I just make stuff up when I play and hope for the best. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that either.
Hey, that's on my resume. Welcome to the band.
That's it, man. That's it. My goodness. Let's see. R2 R3 locking nuts. He makes a statement. He
I've
says another
actually,
thing.
I've got company. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to wrap it up here in a few.
Okay, all right, we'll get ready to get off here. R2 R3 real quick. He says another thing, Joe, is the kids ever feel a 4x12 cab thumping in their chest? Feel the air from those tube amps? Oh man, that's a great feeling. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Well,
that's a great feeling.
some of these kids on here have all that, and they don't appreciate it. You know, some people I see on YouTube, same as they said earlier, they got that dead look in their eye. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, they're incredible players or whatever, but they're not having fun, and it shows, and you can hear it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, give me that
Yeah.
amp. You know, give me
Yeah.
that nice guitar you got, kid. Let me show you how it's done. Yeah.
That's right. All right, guys. We'll go ahead and wrap it up because I know you got to do
Well,
your thing.
well, this is going to be the first of many. You know, we'll get back on here from time to time and touch in as we get
Absolutely.
our new projects coming out. We got a few things coming out here in a couple days. We got something coming out Valentine's Day, so we'll get back on here and hype it up some more for you guys here real soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you want to throw out any web addresses or anything that people can get a hold of you, Jason?
I do. You can check out Etsy, like we were saying. That's what I'm pushing right now. Biggest is my Etsy store. I just started for my art because I got a storage unit full of paintings, and it's time for me to make some room in there so I can put a new symbol on my kit or something like that. So you guys go check out over on Etsy.com, Jason Shumbera art. That's Shumbera, just like it sounds, Shumbera. And yeah, check it out. I mean, you don't have to buy anything. You just check it out. Maybe give me a share, if nothing else. I'd appreciate that. And just get me out, get me seen by a few more people. That's what it's all about. And also my fiance, who's helping me out a lot with all this stuff and designs and whatnot. She designed my stickers. She designed my logo for my Etsy store. And she's got an Etsy herself where she does crochet dolls, custom work. It's really incredible. Actually, here, I got my example right here. Ant-Man is my favorite character, so she made me an Ant-Man because she loved me that much.
Oh, look at that.
Here's my little Ant-Man from my angel, Tony Carter. And you can check her out on Etsy as well. Stitched Inc., like Stitched Incorporated UK. Here's Tony. Here's her Ant-Man she made me. And like I said, she designed my little sticker too, my logo.
That's
So
cool,
you
man.
check us
Awesome.
both out on Etsy. Me at Jason Shumbera Art, and her at Stitched Ink UK.
Stitched Ink UK. Awesome. Cool deal, man. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And thank you for chiming in with your comments and everything. And a special thanks to Jason for being here. Thank you, man, for being
Thank you.
here.
I'm glad to be a
Awesome,
part. It
man.
was fun.
Yes, we'll have to do this again. Thank you, everybody,
We
for
definitely
being
will.
here.
Thanks for watching,
Absolutely.
everybody. Thanks for the questions and the interest and the shares and the comments and the listens and everything. It's been awesome.
Absolutely. Thank y'all so much. Don't forget to check the links below now. Pre-order the EP When Worlds Collide is due out on the 5th, just 2 more days. But if you want it, pre-order it. The links are down there and other stuff, social media, all kind of cool stuff. So there we go. Until next time, this is Joe for the Joe Wentz Project
Good night,
broadcast.
guys.
Thank you, everybody. God
Remember
bless.
to
Be
rock.
safe. That's right. We'll see you.